After the holiday break, things have gotten very interesting in the Premier League, with Man City surging, Arsenal falling, and two clubs facing point deductions. The second half of the season is going to be very entertaining. I'm Matt Becker, and today I'm sitting down with our Penn State Sports Tonight soccer expert, Owen Cameros, and today we're going to discuss this really exciting Premier League season with already half of the season done. So, Owen, who do you think will win the Premier League this year?
Yeah, I think the obvious answer to this is Manchester City. First off, let's just talk about the player that just came back for them, Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne is the best midfielder in world football. I said it. He is incredible. Comes back, 69th minute he comes on. 21 minutes later, he's notched a goal, an assist. Man City's won 3-2 versus Newcastle. They're a very good opposition. Newcastle, they're no slouch. The thing is with Man City, they just have so much talent, and we always talk about it. I mean, Erling Haaland has been the best striker in world football for a number of years. Kevin De Bruyne is an incredible player. They have Rodri, Gundogan Rodri, some of these incredible players. And they're really well coached. Pep Guardiola is an incredible coach. He's a winning coach. He plays successful football, is what I always like to call it. He plays a style of football that not a lot of teams can play, but he has the players and the teams that can do it. And I just think with Man City, they have done it before. They've won the Premier League multiple times in the past few years. They're a really, really driven team. They're a well-coached team, and they have the experience needed to win the Premier League with 18 games left in the season.
Well, historically, they're a really good franchise, and, well, I wouldn't be shocked if they do it again, to be honest. Okay, so you gave me your winners. Now I want to know your top four. Which teams will place top four and qualify for the Champions League this season?
Yeah, I think we look at the table here. There's a number of names that are, right around the top four. I think that Aston Villa is going to drop. I'm going to first of all say that. I think that second place will be Liverpool. I think they're currently in first right now with 45 points. I just think while they're incredible, they've only one loss on the season. They've, had some shaky games. I think they tied to Luton Town on a 95th minute goal that Liverpool scored. They shouldn't have tied that game. They should have lost to currently 19th or 18th place Luton Town. That is rough. And the thing with Liverpool is they're just going to get caught, because Manchester City could legitimately not lose another game this season. And with only 2 points separating the two teams, it's just going to be an issue. Next is Arsenal. The thing with Arsenal is they are a really well-coached team. They play a Pep Guardiola style of soccer, and they have some very, very solid players. Bukayo Saka, who's in the middle there, he's had a really, really good season so far. He's a really young player, really talented. He's 6 goals, 6 assists so far in the season. Really good, has played a number of important games for Arsenal. They've played a number of close games, but they always seem to find a way to win. And I think that's going to be the thing that gets them over the hump. Next will be Tottenham. Tottenham, they're currently in 5th. The big thing with Tottenham, the thing that I always like to talk about, no European football. What that means, they're not in the Champions League, they're not in the Europa League, they're not in the European Conference League. The thing with Tottenham, they only really have one competition to worry about. That's the Premier League. And with them, they'll be able to focus on it well, and they'll jump into 4th place. And Aston Villa, unfortunately with them, they're in the European Conference League, so they're going to have to focus a lot on European football. And I think that they'll just not be able to do it and not be able to stay afloat in 3rd place, and they'll drop into 5th.
Well, Arsenal, I know they've been, struggling a lot recently, and I know they've been scoring goals really late, and sometimes it's too little, too late, and unfortunately that's put them at 4th, but, they might be able to get back up to the top. And I definitely see Man City coming on top here.
Absolutely.
Now, something interesting about soccer is that you get penalized for poor play. The way it works is the 3 worst teams get relegated and replaced by the 3 best teams from the 2nd division. Owen, who do you think these 3 teams will be to get relegated this season?
Yeah, so first of all, I think we'll look at the bottom of the table and talk about Sheffield United. They were just recently promoted. Congrats to them. You're going back down. I'm sorry, Sheffield. 2 wins, 3 draws, 15 losses in 20 games. 15 goals for, 49 goals against. It's just not sustainable football. The thing with them, they can't score, and they get scored on a lot. They're allowing over 2 goals a game. And it's just with them, they're so far behind at this point. They're 8 points behind 17th place Everton with 17 points. I just don't see a way that Sheffield United will be able to have a second half turnaround. Next, I'm going to talk about Burnley. Burnley, similar thing to Sheffield United. They played one more game. They've won one more game. Burnley's coached by Vincent Kompany. I really like Vincent Kompany. I just don't think this is his year. I just think that Burnley, they've come up. This is their first taste in Premier League football in a decent amount of time. I think that they're going to get used to it. They're going to go back down, and they're going to come back up pretty fast. I think we'll see Burnley in the Premier League to stay in the next coming years. Nottingham Forest, 15th. Right now, they're going to be the last team dropped. The reason for that, we talked about in the intro, 2 teams are facing financial fair play deductions. What that means is that financial fair play is basically like a salary cap. The way it works is you can only spend a certain amount of money. The big thing with Nottingham Forest is they, as a club, have lost more money than they've made, I think by 61 million, and that's the cutoff. So now they're facing a sanction. That could be a fine, that could be a points deduction. Recently, Everton, sitting in 17th place, you can see it at the bottom, they received a points deduction earlier in the season. They're appealing it now. If Forest were to receive the same points deduction of 10 points, 3 wins and a draw, they would be in 19th place with 10 points, and they have not played really well in these past few games. They had those 2 wins, and then they just went right back to their old style of football, losing games. I just think that if Nottingham Forest gets that 10-point deduction, which I think they will, considering what's been done to Everton, I just don't see a way that they're going to come back up into safety when they have teams like Brentford and Everton who've played pretty good football as of late. I think Forest is going to be the team that drops below the line, unfortunately.
It's definitely interesting because I know it's all market-based with TV revenue, and you got your big market teams, your small market teams, and unfortunately, well, they're getting punished for trying to spend more than they can actually spend.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. For Owen Cameros, I'm Matt Becker, and you're watching Penn State Sports Night.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
For more content like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a like, and follow our socials down below.
And as always, we are
Penn State Sports Night.